board for 4 years, just got off. So what I want to say is, one, with this situation, that's not a police situation that police can address. That has to be something that your lawmakers need to change the laws to that effect. So that's not something that the police can enforce until it's on the books.
So there is nothing on the books.
So right now there's very little on the books to hold. Because when you look at it, you gotta start asking the question. When you say, do you want to hold the parents accountable? Then okay, yeah, we want to hold them accountable. So what's the recourse behind that? So if you hold them accountable, are you billing the parents? Are you charging the parents? Are you there's got to be some type of situation that you're holding them accountable. If you're holding them accountable, what would be the result of? And then if you say, okay, fine, they need to be held accountable for this, then what if they don't do that? Then that means you're taking them away from 3 or 4 other kids that's in the house or whatever. But those are laws that has to be addressed through the council, through city council, through the state legislature. Those are laws that has to be put on the books. Now, and I was forced to say something because my son's name is Taekwon. So just happened to use my son's name.
Can I say something?
Go ahead, yeah.
Because unlike all of y'all, I'm from where she's from. I'm from Chicago, Illinois, and I was one of those problems in Chicago. You know what I'm saying? And you're a gang enforcer or detective or whatever. I don't think that you can hold the parent accountable. Reason why is because, like she said, she's a single parent, and she's the only one raising the kid in her household. Meaning that you really don't even have time to raise your child. Reason why you don't have time to raise your child, because majority of the time you're at work. You understand what I'm saying? And your child has a problem at school, and you got to take off work, then you end up losing your job because of this child running back and forth to school. Here's the problem: the broken families. Daddy needs to be in his life.
Facts.
You understand what I'm saying? You see where I'm at, see where my kid at.
Facts.
I had to learn, because I was raised without a father. And I was in one of the worst gangs in Chicago. And I exceeded to almost to the top of that gang. But I backed out of that because I didn't want to live my life like that no more. You know what I'm saying? I've been shot at the police. I'm a GD from Chicago.
I'm from
You know what I'm
78 area,
saying?
so I know.
I'm from 79 in Halsted.
Okay.
You know what
right
they say?
There.
Yeah.
78.
And I came here to change, to make a difference in my life. To stay out of prison, stay out of the ground, and to raise my kids different. You know what I'm saying? I also employ a lot of the brothers in this area. Here's what I think. I think they need something to do.
Yep.
That's the bottom line.
You understand what I'm saying? I do home remodeling. I go around and I remodel restaurants, hotels, and I have a GED. You know what I'm saying? But I wanted to change my life, so I left where I was at to get away from around the poverty, because I'm from Chicago. I don't think y'all understand that. You understand what I'm saying? Y'all, I don't think you
I've been
understand.
32 years in Chicago, so I know.
But the problem ain't where y'all looking. The problem is the broken homes. Daddy ain't there. How could mom teach him how to be a man? How could mom teach him how to stay out of the street and stay away from bad boys? Because my mama had that problem.
I mean, it's the same with a male trying to raise a female. You can't teach her how to be a young lady because you just don't have all the equipment.
All of the fathers are in prison or on drugs.
Right,
We
but
need
you have to defeat the problem is to end the cycle by staying in the home or being active in your children's life. But that starts at home. Like he said, that's not a police issue.
But how could you blame her?
I don't blame her.
My thing is, how could you blame the parent when she's doing the best she can?
I'm going to bring up one thing. And
You
Let me add this in there.
You can have a parent. You can have
One at a time.
They keep reporting their kids because they having a problem with their kids and still ain't getting no help. And then I'm a single parent with 3, 1, 2, and 3. It ain't easy. It ain't easy. You know, 3, 4, and 11 years old. It ain't easy, but
then they have to teach.
I have to go to work.
You got these guys
get
that
called.
have to teach my child. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I wasn't there to teach him. So y'all take him, you lock him up. You know what I'm saying? You beat on him or whatever case may be. You understand what I'm saying? But it's because I wasn't there.
But if you
I'm
put
just being
something
honest.
in place for these kids to
And
do,
some of these
They need
parents
something
scared
to
of their
do.
kids.
That's just the bottom line.
To
They
get
need
back,
something to
let's
do.
keep it
A lot of these
focused.
parents
To get
scared of
back
their
to the root,
kids,
I
too.
think she was saying that you would like to see the parents being held accountable, and what we see is that a law needs to be changed for that to happen. But you also have to look at, I'm just playing devil's advocate, because I've seen households, lived in households with one parent, multiple kids, and I know that a mom had 2 sons and she doing everything she can do to make sure they do what they gotta do. And one of them ends up becoming a felon, the other one ends up going to college. Same household, same rules, same regulations. Now, do you fault the parent for this child making repeated bad decisions? So if he goes to school, she drops him off, take him, hey, you better not leave, and he leaves, are we gonna lock the mom up? Now she can't feed herself and her household? I'm asking you that, just something to think about.
Well,
Because imagine if you say you have 2 sons, right? And you do everything you do, you put the fear of God in your child. I'm assuming you do that because you just scared me a little bit when you stood up. So I'm assuming you put the fear of God in him, but he makes a mistake and leaves school. Not once, not twice, but 3 times. Now you saying you should be held accountable?
Well, here's my thing. My sons, they're 23 and 25. And I had one child who was the problem. Like every day, it was to the point where they had him in LD. They had him, to the point where they wanted to hold him back, and it was all because of his behavior. And at there was a point where I just, was like, oh my goodness, just trying to reason with him. But when I whipped his butt every single day that he came in there with a bad report, it all changed, And so, but I'm not saying that is the answer to everything. But the problem here is, you're right. It's multifaceted, though. The kids need something to do. They need a daddy in the house. But they also need to find a way to make some of these parents accountable. Because with the situation that you laid out, I don't know that that's the exception. I don't know that it's the rule. But I think it's a mixture of both. I think when you start putting something out there for the parents, if there's no, and that was my question, is there anything out there that the parents can be charged with?
Yes, there is.
And so if you start enforcing those things, I guarantee you will cut down on some of this crime. You will make it so that some of these kids, these parents, will be paying more attention to what their children are doing instead of sitting them in front of a television or allowing them to go and do whatever they want to do. They're not going to be sneaking outside, because if I have some charges that might come up against me, I'm going to make sure your butt is in the house and have your homework done, and you get out and you go to school. That's just
I think that's case by case. I want you to say.
Yeah, let me try and, I guess, I don't want to say wrap it up, but let me respond to all of that. Yes, there are charges or ordinances that can be placed on that parent, but we realize we cannot arrest our way out of this problem. Mm-hmm. So arresting the child is not going to do it, because 9 out of 10 times, if we arrest them, they're going to go to juvenile and come out worse than they went in. If we arrest the parent, they have a possibility of losing their job if they have a job. If they don't have a job, that arrest could hinder them from getting a job. So when we arrest them, when we put charges on the parents, it's because there has been a history of problems with that child and a history of the police officers speaking with that family, trying to get them to correct some of their behavior. That's when we try and put charges on them. And again, this is not something that the police department or law enforcement agencies need to be doing, arresting kids. In Atlanta, just recently, we have created what we call the At Promise Youth Center. And at the At Promise Youth Center, it has wraparound services, not only to help just the child, but to help the family. It helps the parents or guardians get jobs, or get a GED, or to get back in school. So when the initial problem is conquered, we won't have to worry about them going back and committing the same problem over and over again. So it's about the community. It's not just about the police department locking people up.
Okay, so just to kind of wrap it, because you brought the question up, it sounds like if you have a truancy issue with the kids, you call 911, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, fellas. You call 911, make sure you have a good description of the people you're calling them about, right? And then the police will take it from there. He gonna give y'all his number too.
Okay, I don't think we can get answers to all of the questions that we need here today or any other time. But I'm 7, 8 years old. I'm from a different area. When I was these kids' age, we had a different viewpoint. I mean, we were afraid of 3 things mainly. One, if we did something wrong, our parents were going to tear our butt up. Second, we were afraid of police because police then would do something bad to you. But thirdly, we had a fear of God in us. Because if we got away with it with our parents or with the police, our parents always let us know that God is watching you. So that part of the situation seemed to have been eliminated. There's no fear of God in the community now. And I think that's probably one of the, I have no idea how you address that, but I think it's something that we have lost over the years.
Well, I don't think it's just only fear of God, only interruption, but
Stand up so we hear you.
in general, the kids are not fearful, period. And I think we'll have the wrong approach if we want them to fear anything, because they don't. Basically, the kids, the love is what'll get the kids to pay more attention to their actions or how they treat you. We so disconnected. Like, we judge the kids.
Not to cut him off, he's a school teacher.
We judge the kids on simple stuff like the pants hanging down. I talk to people about that all the time. Like, don't judge a kid by his pants hanging down. It's a fad. In the 70s, it was a fad where men wore open shirts. It was a fad. It went out. Bell bottoms was a fad.